Oh my goodness, remember I just told you guys yesterday about me and the docket paying $225. The docket on YouTube, I gave him $225 for the next iteration of Stephan Sterns' discovery. We didn't know what the heck it would be. Well, today, lo and behold, the docket sent me this PDF, and boy, he highlighted a damning email from Stephan Sterns' mom to Stephan while he was in prison. While he's in jail after he's been arrested for the first-degree murder he's charged with for the death of his girlfriend's 13-year-old daughter, Madeline Soto. Boy, Stephan Sterns' mom is pointing the blame at someone who's redacted, who I really think is Jennifer Soto. If you want to read along with me, I'm going to upload the PDF. You can find it at a link below. I probably won't scroll all of this on the screen. It's 64 pages. Some of them are redacted. A lot of it is just talk of books and coffee, and Stephan is whining again about his jailhouse conditions. But there is one point in here where it reminds me of Chris Watts' parents. You know, how they're just so in love with their son. They're so much on their son's side. And the way Cindy Watts was telling Chris Watts to fight. That's what it looks like Stephan Sterns' mom is doing. Now, if you followed all my videos all along, you'll know that Stephan Sterns' mom breeds a lot of poodles, so there's a lot of poodle talk in these emails, and his dad is in here too. The email account is under his dad's name. If you look at my previous videos, you'll see the history. You can hear his mom's voice talk all about the poodles on this one podcast. She went on and she talked about her husband giving her a specific poodle for their 25th wedding anniversary. I did a really deep dive, really deep research into this couple. They're fascinating, and now I'm more fascinated with them, especially after Stephan Sterns' mom is telling him to fight and seems to be pointing the finger at Jennifer Soto and her family. We're going to get to this. We're going to go in order. I'm not going to read the seemingly spam email. If you want to follow along, get it from the link below. You can read it while we're going through this together. Because this PDF, I don't know if I should scroll it on the screen. First of all, it will take a longer time to edit it if I do that. And secondly, there's certain things that YouTube doesn't like. I've done it in the past, scrolling certain court documents on the screen, and YouTube has taken the video down or had problems with it. I don't want to risk that. Let's just start reading. This is directly what the docket sent me. So go on over there, give him a visit, give him a like, give him a sub. I'm not sure when he'll go over this as well. This is directly from the office of Andrew Bain. He's the state's attorney in the 9th Judicial Circuit of Orange and Osceola County, Florida. And so this is dated today, Thursday, July 11th, regarding the defendant Stephan Michael Sterns. It says, if the requested records contain any of the following confidential and/or exempt information, it has been redacted or withheld pursuant to applicable law. So everything that needs to be redacted has been redacted, including identifying info of victims of sex offenses and/or child abuse, and other, whatever that is. It does have a note here, something about the case status from the Kissimmee Police Department, cleared by arrest. The offense is homicide. And it has a date here, interestingly, that the homicide occurred on February 25th, 2024. Now, I don't know if that's something they know definitively. We know Maddie Soto was reported missing that Monday, February 26th. But now this document is saying the homicide occurred February 25th, 2024. I don't know if they know additional information or if they're just giving us another range, but it only says occurred February 25th. So this is a supplemental correction. I guess maybe we've seen this previously, but this investigator, CJ Cabral, says, on my original supplement, I incorrectly marked the dates of the event as to occurring in March instead of February. So that supplement was completed to address this discrepancy. So they kind of list again something we've probably seen before. On February 28th, 2024, I, Detective Cabral, was contacted by Major Crimes Detectives Morris and Detective Corporal Ilgen in regard to a homicide case. I was provided 2 vehicle license plates for vehicles that were suspected to be involved in the case on February 26, 2024 and February 27, 2024. So it gives that license plate we've seen again, IYLL82 on a silver Lincoln, and redacted on a white Nissan, both Florida plates. I'm assuming that white Nissan belonged to Jennifer Soto. I ran both through our Vigilant license plate reader query and received several hits. So I believe since we kind of know this part of it from the previous document, I won't go through the entire thing. The gist of this is just that this detective got a profile for the silver Lincoln bearing the Florida license plates, which was observed through a combination of apartment complex cameras, traffic cameras, LPR cameras, and it just shows the movements of Stephan Sterns. 7:35 a.m. that Monday, February 26th, the silver Lincoln was observed on the workshop camera of the complex. A male exits the vehicle and throws something in the complex dumpster. He's wearing a red shirt and tan pants. At 7:40, the vehicle leaves through the east gate of the complex. At 10:14 a.m., the Lincoln enters the complex. The driver appears similar to the male seen earlier at the dumpster. They kind of go through Stephan Sterns' movements that day. They believe he disposed of Maddie's body. At 10:54 a.m., the silver Lincoln parks by the workshop near the complex dumpster. The male exits the vehicle, but now he's wearing a blue shirt, and again throws something into the complex dumpster. 11:03 a.m., the silver Lincoln is observed passing the intersection of San Sebastian and San Vital within the complex. The vehicle exits the complex through the main gate. At 11:56 a.m., the silver Lincoln enters through the rear gate with a male driver consistent with the driver on the previous recordings. At 12:44 hours, the silver Lincoln again exits the rear gate of the complex. As I had a later LPR hit in the St. Cloud area, I tracked the vehicle through each intersection I had available traffic cameras. The cameras are overhead view, and in this, next, the detective lists approximate times, locations of the corresponding intersections. So I won't go through all of those. And it did end up with noting the vehicle returned northbound on Old Hickory Tree Drive at about 14:11, which is about 2:11 p.m. The vehicle now had a spare tire on the rear driver's side. I'll kind of skip past everything I believe we already know about Stephan Sterns throwing items in the dumpster, returning immediately to throw away more items, returning to the dumpster to throw away more items. I'm not sure if we knew that he visited this dumpster so often, because now we knew about Stephan Sterns visiting the dumpster, I believe, early that morning, but this supplement is saying his vehicle is then observed returning through the rear gate of the apartment complex at about 2:43 p.m. And then at about 3:24, the Lincoln returns to the workshop area where the same male again throws some items into the dumpster. He leaves immediately, returns at about 3:28 p.m. with more items to throw away. He returns again at 4:36 p.m. to again throw items into the dumpster. So that's interesting time. That's right before the police would have been called initially to report Maddie Soto as a missing person. So they're talking late into the afternoon there, 4:36 p.m. They also developed a profile for the white Nissan license plate. However, this is the next day, February 27th, 2024. So again, they followed the route of this vehicle, and at 3:16 p.m., the white Nissan exited the complex, utilizing the main gate, and it followed the same path the Lincoln followed the previous day, with the exception of utilizing the front gate of the complex. So it says they exited the main gate, except they did not utilize the front gate of the complex. That's curious. And they list a whole bunch of streets. I then watched for the vehicle return path at the Old Hickory Tree 13th Street intersection. Wow. So they're saying on Tuesday, if Stephan was driving again the same way he drove that Monday when he disposed of Maddie's body, it's like he followed the same path. This detective saw him on the return path at Old Hickory Tree and 13th Street. So it's like they were tracking Stephan and noting him doing the same thing, driving the same way he did that Monday. So did he go and manipulate or move Maddie's body on that Tuesday? It says I provided this data to Detective Morris and Detective Corporal Corporal Ilgen for use in the investigation. The traffic camera video was made available through access provided by the City of St. Cloud. So there's a City of Kissimmee Police Department electronic incident report transmittal form. Now this will be the most interesting part. So this is from the Osceola County Corrections Department, and this is where we get to see all of Stephan Sterns' communications, 17 pages of smart communications for Stephan Sterns between the dates of March 1st through July 2nd. So March 1st, remember that's that day where they found Maddie's body. But prior to them finding her body or prior to them announcing it or anything, Stephan Sterns was transported. So we saw that transport video. So immediately, it seems like Stephan Sterns started communicating. Mainly what we have here is communications between his mom and dad and Stephan. But it must have taken a while for them to figure out how to use the tablet. Maybe they were, of course, calling each other, but now we have these tablet emails. Greetings, the first one starts with May 29th, 2024 at 4:39 p.m. Status recipient read. I've seen on different other cases where, if you're following the Ernest Williams drama, Nesto, as they call him, Shirley Strawberry's estranged husband, and his mistress, Sonia, some of their communications may have said unread when they were actually read. Hopefully these are correct statuses. It says recipient read. Stephan's dad is saying, how does this work? Is it like snail mail? I assume like everything else is, everyone has access and can read these messages. I think this will get limited use. We'll see. So from the beginning, Stephan Sterns' dad is pretty cautious. He knows his mail is being read, basically. He's not going to say anything too controversial or anything that will basically put him on blast because he understands. But when it comes time for his mom to start talking at certain points, she doesn't hold back. Now, some of these almost look like spam that Stephan Sterns is getting. He's getting info about the 2024 primary election. Maybe it's not really spam. This was by June 3rd, 7:46 a.m. So notice that first message came in from Stephan's dad, May 29th, and he had been there already since May 1st. So now on June 3rd, 2024, it's just information about whether or not Stephan Sterns, if he wants to vote, it's that time of year, can you vote in jail, blah, 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 blah. If you want to read it all, again, read it in the PDF linked to below. There's more information about an election, voters registration deadline, blah, blah, blah. The next one, greetings. Okay, Stephan writes his dad back, June 19th, 2024 at 7:14 p.m. That took him quite a while to write his dad back. I mean, from May 29th, finally about 3 weeks later, Stephan writes his dad back. He says, hey, I just got access to the tablet again. They have moved me to a regular isolation cell in C pod now. Presumably this is where I will stay for a while. It's not exactly the Ritz. It's a small cell and the pod is quite noisy. I didn't think I would miss the medical pod, but now I wish I was back in that big cell where at least I could partially see out of the window and look at the sky and the grass and the trees off in the distance as they swayed in the breeze. I will try to call as soon as possible. I imagine you have your hands full with puppies and I can't wait to hear all about it. Now he wants to hear about the puppies. I love you both and will call you soon. P.S. I'm still waiting for the books to get into my hands. No clue if they were delivered yet. Maybe I will receive them in the next couple of days, hopefully. We'll see soon, I suppose. I would like Congo and The Hobbit, Nerd Alert, to be among the next ones that you send, please. And maybe also a book on origami. That could be interesting to learn and a good way to pass time and satisfy my need to create and craft and use my hands. Let's try that. Hopefully it's allowed since it's just folding paper, which I have plenty of, into different shapes. So it shouldn't be a security concern, I would think. So that's why it took Stephan so long to write his dad back. I guess he didn't have access to a tablet. And if you guys don't know what they look like, they kind of look like just regular little iPads. And it sounds like they're sharing a tablet here. In different institutions, Each inmate might have their own tablet. You have to have money on your books and everything to send certain messages. They're going to talk about that too. But he's bemoaning the fact that he's in a regular isolation cell. It's not exactly the Ritz, he's complaining. A small cell and the pod is noisy, so there's a lot of prisoners around him. And even though in Stephan's interview he was dissing his parents, calling them old people, yelling at each other, and these loud puppies, notice how he's pining away for his parents now. Now we have another message. Greetings. So this is from Stephan's dad to Stephan on June 19th, 2024 at 8:36 p.m. Good to hear about your transfer and access to the tablet. Will this be full-time or limited, like it is passed around on rotation? Let me know how often you have access to the tablet. We'll write something every day. Can you send your mother an invite so she can write you separately? I'll help her get set up on her computer. We confirmed a few books were received yesterday, the 18th, 5 of them, and 1 more on Monday. So they are going to talk about different books. Like we saw in previous documentation, we thought, oh, there's something going on with books here. Now we get to know which ones they are. His parents are sending him, which ones he wants them to cancel. We even get to see the covers. We get to see the covers and the backs of some of these books. Anyway, his dad continued, we'll jump on the origami book and order it now. The puppies are doing well, and Lacey is a super mom. So Lacey must be one of the, breeding dogs. Get this. Yesterday, Mom had to rescue one of the puppies who got its leg in the collar. She snagged the puppy out of the pen, sat down on the bed to adjust the collar. While she was sitting there, Lacey, at a dead standstill, leaped over the 3-foot pen and landed squarely on the bed to be with her puppy. I hate to think what would have happened if she miscalculated the jump. Today, after many consecutive days of rain and threatening rain, no rain. We're in that rainy period of non-stop torrential rain that creates chaos with home building, flooding, and messy days. So his dad must still be a realtor. So he's talking about how that affects home building. I'm not sure if he flips homes or what. And it's all this talk about normal everyday stuff, just like Chris Watts' parents talked to him about. I know they're not going to dig into his case except for that one email coming up, but it's funny how they talk about innocuous things. At least the ponds and retention ponds are looking normal again. They were really low. Tomorrow we travel with Lacey and the puppies to the vet to have the dew claws removed. This will be fun. Not. Although it's better than your mother doing it, who is always a nervous wreck. I bet. I don't clip my dog's claws or anything. I leave that to the vet. It's worth the expense to avoid. 7 puppies is 28 dew claws. I didn't even know puppies had to have their claws removed. Yep, better to have the vet do it. Mom's writing a message below. Here's where Stephan's mom chimes in. And they're going to continue this pattern, so sometimes his mom is writing under his dad's name, and we don't necessarily know who's writing unless she signs it, I guess Mom. Ordered the origami kit, which is booked, and 20 pieces of specific origami paper for the patterns. Also sent, I guess she means sent, also sent out The Hobbit and Congo. That will be it book-wise for the next couple of weeks. Those should hold you. I have the rest you want in the cart and marked as save for later, so I wouldn't forget which ones you wanted. The is Mom writing. Love and hugs to you. So she must save them on Amazon. I know there are some institutions that do allow you to send books directly from Amazon to a prisoner, but there's different rules. You can't have certain subject matter and all that. Okay, still on June 19th at 8:55 p.m., Stephan writes his dad back. Hey, the battery is low, so gotta be quick here. I don't know how often I will get the tablet since others use it, and I just have to wait until it is available. He has mistakes here, so it can be difficult to read. Can't get the commissary to work on it yet. Don't know why, but see if you can drop another $30 in there in the meantime so I can stock up on plenty of coffee. He talks about coffee a lot. Must be a coffee fiend. I'm a coffee fiend too. As for books, remove Christine, It, and Eyes of the Dragon from the list. And just wait for the Howling Trilogy book to be available to send that. The battery is about to die now. I love you both, and I accepted Mom's previous request to connect. Hugs and kisses. Talk to you later. So he wants to get rid of Stephen King's Christine book. You guys remember that movie? That was about some crazy red car. It, with that crazy clown, and Eyes of the Dragon. So his dad, I guess, wrote him back at 9:05 that same night, June 19th. Okay, will do. Love you too. So now, books delivered is the next subject line. His dad wrote Stephan on June 20th, 2024 at 5:06 p.m. Hey Stephan, I confirmed today the books were delivered minus the playing cards. They must have tried to send him playing cards. They have to confirm if they are allowed. If not, they will be placed with your personal property. Puppies and Lacey went to the vet to have dew claws removed. We docked the tails ourselves. Wow, they cut the puppies' tails themselves. Ooh, glad that's done. Puppies and Lacey are resting, crashed out, nothing else to report. It was a restless night for you, Mom, and Lacey. Lacey, as you know, is quite vocal and is very vocal with your mother during the night, wanting attention, food, or to be let out. Lacey is a good mother, but very demanding. I hope your mom survives the 10 weeks. At this pace, I'm not sure. LOL, catch you later. His dad must be trying to keep it light. Now we have from Stephan to his dad, June 22nd. So a couple of days have passed. It's June 22nd, 2:12 p.m. Hey, I finally got the tablet again. I can confirm I have begun to receive the books. Dragon Teeth, Spear, Timeline, Eaters of the Dead, and Sudoku. I have already read through Dragon Teeth and Timeline since Thursday, and am now reading Eaters of the Dead, LOL. Unfortunately, they would not allow the book on card games because it also contained playing cards. Or maybe it was just playing cards, not sure, but it was placed in my property. Now, some of these books, Eaters of the Dead, I don't know what that's about, but it's pretty creepy considering what Stephan Sterns is in there charged with. But obviously he's a voracious reader because he's reading through these books pretty quickly. Also, the origami book arrived and suffered the same fate because it contained paper in addition to the book, which sucks. So I still need a book. Just a book on it and nothing else. Could you possibly send a new one that is just a book? And going forward, send only books and nothing else with them. That's the rule, and there is no allowance for any deviation from or reinterpretation of that rule. Please make sure Mom understands this as well, as these items do me no good locked away in my property, and therefore also impossible for you to refund or exchange either, which is a total waste all around. Oh yes, I'm sure Lacey is quite demanding and starving all the time now, and I completely believe she is capable of leaving Mom feeling harassed and henpecked, LOL. Life here in C-Pod ISO is an adjustment, so it must be C-Pod isolation. Just getting an eating utensil with meals is a hassle. Paper spoons are provided to people in Suicide Watch and medical, but apparently not here in the regular pods, which leads me to believe there must be a standard issue utensil, which I don't have. Which I mentioned this to the officer dispensing food at lunch. He said, figure something out, and walked away. I'm sure these officers are like, whatever, dude. You know, look at what you're accused of doing to this young, beautiful girl since she was 8 years old and accused of taking her life right after she turned 13. And you're freaking complaining about, oh, I got coffee and make sure Mom understands just to send this and not that. Put some money on my books and woe is me. He's going to talk about the thin mattress and something like that. It's coming up. Here it is. I'm sure they're like, look, dude, I'm not bending over backwards to go find you a proper utensil for your liking. Stephan continued, I will have to talk to the officers. Since I started in Suicide Watch for the last 3.5 months and have been in areas that are heavily restricted, I suspect there are many things which I should have but never received. The mat is flat. The mat is flat and has very little cushion left. The cell is small, filthy, and has some spots on the wall that appear to be bloody fingerprints. Ooh. So it's 7 puppies instead of 8? Also, did the social workers pass my notes to you regarding the accounts to cancel the Spotify subscription yet? I also had some instructions for some of my personal property in there for you. Boy, I'd like to read those notes. Is he worried about canceling the Spotify subscription just to save him or his parents money so they can put that money on his books instead? What else? What are these other instructions he had for his personal property in there? Was it to dispose of anything, and was any of that evidence? So this is important to learn. So his dad emailed him back that same day, June 22nd at 2:20 p.m. Good to hear from you. Sorry to hear about the hassle. I will instruct your mother accordingly. How long do you get to hold the tablet? I just arrived home and need to unload groceries, but saw your message and wanted to get back to you right away. Sterns should feel blessed that his parents are even still speaking to him at all and sending him money and books and everything. So Sterns wrote back to his dad that same day, June 22nd, 2024, only 4 minutes later at 2:24 p.m. He wrote, I will have it basically until they ask for it back, which may be an hour or two, sometimes longer, depending on demand and how attentive the officers are. His dad wrote back a few minutes later at 2:54 p.m. I failed to respond to your earlier question about the note from the social worker. No, we have not received anything from her yet. I don't remember seeing Stephan ask anything about a social worker. Oh, there it is. Also did the social workers. Okay, so it was supposed to be the social workers passing Stephan's notes to his dad regarding the accounts to cancel and the Spotify subscription. Okay, but his dad is like, no, we have not received anything from her yet. And I don't know, is a social worker supposed to be passing notes from an inmate to that inmate's parents? That doesn't seem like that's legit. So again, Stephan wrote back to his dad a little bit later at 3:25 p.m. that same day, June 22nd. Okay, no problem. She is probably awaiting approval from the attorneys. She has to run everything by them first. Good. It looks like I've used up the free bonus messages on this system, so now it will start using the credits. It seems this message will use 50 credits. How much do these credits cost? I currently have 200. As far as the notes about some of my personal property at the house, it was mostly instructions for what to do with my Warhammer 40k miniatures and terrain. So we can remember on Reddit how Stephan Sterns was big into the Warhammer 40k and all these different little toys and games and all that stuff I don't really necessarily understand. But he wrote, I have a bin of terrain pieces in a yellow and black bin in the garage that had been left near the treadmill, and several plastic boxes full of minis in my room and even under the desk. If you want to get them out of the way, I was going to suggest finding one of my friends on my Facebook page, and he names a guy named Matt, and seeing if he would be interested in any of them or the terrain. I wouldn't want anything from this guy. Or if he might be able to help you sell them. Or if you would rather just donate them to the Northport group, he could possibly help with that too. If he's willing, contact him and see if he is willing to, and if so, coordinate with him. As for any of my BattleTech minis or supplies, just leave those alone for now. There are some boxes for BattleTech, and also a small gray box with a red handle that is labeled BattleTech near the handle that contains a lot of my BattleTech minis. Just keep that aside, along with anything else BattleTech related until we know more about how things will go. So why is Stephan so interested in keeping this BattleTech stuff? Is it really meaningful to him? Or does it contain something else? Or does he really think he's going to be out to play with his BattleTech stuff again? Matt wouldn't be interested in them, and almost none of the other guys play it either. So hold on to it until I figure things out on my end. There is a small second gray box with a red handle that is not labeled. It contains a lot of Star Wars, Legion minis, and it belongs with all the stuff that is in a blue bag on the closet floor that contains a bunch of other Star Wars, Legion, and X-Wing stuff. I don't know what to do with that. I don't think Matt would be interested, but maybe Tristan might like it if you guys were inclined to ship it up to him. I don't know. It's up to you. For my trading card games and cards that are in the plastic drawers under my desk, leave them alone for now. But if we need to part with them in the future, there's a guy named Frank he mentions, and I'm not giving these people's full names here on camera. Frank may be interested in some of them, but as I said, leave them for now until things become more certain for me one way or the other. Yeah, he must think he's really getting out. They have some value, and as for my Tamagotchi and V-Pet collection that is hanging in the closet and around the room, don't do anything with them just yet until we know how things will shake out. A lot of them are rare, expensive, and difficult, impossible to replace in the kind of pristine condition they are in. So leave them be for now until we know more about what my situation is going to be. Sorry for the info dump, but basically just contact Matt about my Warhammer stuff and see if he's willing to help you with that. And don't get rid of any of my other stuff until we know more. What strikes me is I know gaming and collectibles can be very valuable. I understand why people might want to collect this stuff, but I'm looking at this as a 38-year-old man who's used to either living with his parents or mooching off his girlfriend and abusing her sweet, innocent daughter. He's in jail for getting rid of her life, and has the nerve to focus so much on his collectibles and telling his mom and dad what to touch, what not to touch, how to dispose of them, maybe how to sell them. It just strikes of a bunch of immaturity. Now, the next one, June 22nd. There's a lot of emails that day. His dad emailed him back, messaged Stephan back at 4:22 p.m. Cost is 50 credits per message. When I send a message, it allows me to check a box that returns 50 credits to your account. I'll discuss all this with your mother and get back to you. So yeah, I don't know how much 50 credits cost. So next he got something from 411.org and just, I guess, voter stuff. Now, on June 25th at 6:39 p.m., Stephan wrote a message to his dad. Hey, I've just gotten the tablet again, at least for a little while. The battery seems to run out quickly on it though. Might last only a couple of hours. I have received The Hobbit, so that makes 5 books total received, beside the origami and cards that were stuck into my property. Still waiting delivery of Congo. How are things at the Poodle Palace? So now their home is Poodle Palace. It's a pretty nice home too, I've seen it on Zillow. I miss you guys, and my mind is often occupied by thoughts of home. I wish I was there to help with the puppies. How are they and Lacey? So now he's missing his parents and he's not dogging them out like he did to the cops in that interview. So his dad wrote back Sterns that same day, June 25th. This was at 8:01 p.m. And he uses a nickname, Steph, like Steph Curry. Hey Steph, sorry for the delay in responding. I just saw this. Amazon canceled the order, but we reordered it. Mom ordered a replacement origami book. Be on the lookout for that. The puppies are doing well. We recorded one of the puppies. Hal was making sounds like Chewbacca and immediately decided to call the puppy Wookie. Lacey is being a super mother. Takes after her mother, Kissy. Must have been that puppy's, Lacey's mom, Kissy, all these puppies. Wish I could show you a photo of her nursing towards the end of the first day. She's face planted and the puppies are nursing. Sort of, I'm exhausted, just nurse and leave me alone. Not much going on other than working and puppy. Here's mom. Okay, so here we go. Stephan's mom starts messaging. As we were talking on the phone last time, I was looking up the books you said you wanted and putting them in the cart for later. I wanted to make sure I got the right ones. We will send out a couple at a time. I did reorder Congo. I don't know why Amazon canceled it, but they did. Maybe didn't have one available in paperback. Hopefully this one goes through. Dad is right about Lacey. She is a great testament to Kissy, as Kissy was to Dazzle. The pups are gaining 2 to 3 ounces a day. Now are all over a pound. I'm about halfway through with the ENS exercises. They only go for 2 weeks. Looks like I shine in the inner corners of the eyes. By next week, they will be able to see, hear, and start walking. They are loud. I don't get much sleep between the heat lamp, nightlight, pups making their noises, and Lacey's demands to be taken outside every other hour and fed every 4 to 5 hours. It is truly a labor of love for us both. Love smelling and holding pups again. Wish you were here too. I finally reached the 50 pounds lost mark. Dad is looking like a third world refugee. He is so skinny. LOL, big hugs and stay strong. We love you. So obviously his mom and dad were losing weight somehow. She must have lost 50 pounds. Stephan messaged his dad back that same day, June 25th at 8:46 p.m. Hey, Dad looks that skinny? Wow. And congrats to Mom for the 50-pound milestone. I imagine I look rather changed as well. I just got to look at my face in the dark reflection of this tablet. That reminds me of a Bible verse. Now we see through a mirror darkly. I just got to look at my face in the dark reflection of this tablet. My eyes are a bit sunk in with dark circles underneath, and my cheekbones are sticking out so much like they could cut you. I don't doubt that I'm continuing to lose weight. I'm going on 4 months now here, and in all that time, I have never felt a full stomach. I have, in fact, forgotten what that is like. There's never a time these days when I don't feel hungry. Even right after a meal in which I completely clear my tray, I still feel hungry. But I'm trying my best to at least stay in some kind of shape. Have done many push-ups and crunches over the last few weeks. Arms are starting to look a bit bigger. It's funny how quickly and dramatically I get results from working out. I really should have done it more before. So you call the puppy Wookie instead of the obvious Chewy? Chewy sounds much better. LOL. I miss you both very much. One nice benefit of the tablet is access to the law library, which has a lot of case law and rulings. I've been busy looking through that a bit for anything relevant to my own situation, and I think I've found some things which give me hope. But only some. I'm not foolish enough to get my hopes entirely up for anything, and can only really hope that my legal team will agree with my ideas and are willing to pursue them as tenaciously as I want them to. I can't explain too much here, but there is still perhaps a slim hope for my situation. I wonder what that hope he thinks is. At any rate, my odds are not 0% at this time. Patience and faith and no small amount of praying and hoping is what is getting me through. So now he's found the Lord. I hope it's true, because on Reddit he's over there talking about how stupid religion is, which I get. Man-made religions, yes. Faith in Jesus Christ and God, no. That's life. I maintain hope that I might be able to come home once this whole nasty business has reached its end. And I ask that you both remain hopeful as well and continue to pray for me to be delivered home again. Delivered home again. That's an interesting way to put it. I have to have that hope, or I would be falling into true despair and lose the will to live. So keep that hope yourselves as well. Patience and faith. Still trying to figure out the issue with commissary on this tablet. It's blank when I open the link. An official came to check on me today to see how I'm doing in isolation, really to see if I'm cracking up and need to go back into the care and watch of mental health, and I mentioned to him my issues with commissary. He said he would look into it. I also opened a request to administration through this tablet regarding the issues as well a few days ago, so I expect a reply in the next day or two. I have only 7 coffees left, which is dangerously low for me. I usually like 2 a day and have started rationing down to 1, but soon I will have none, and then I will really be glum. I also have only 3 pieces of root beer candy left, so things are getting quite bleak here for me in isolation. I've not been able to resupply since I left the medical pod. I received a random drug test today. My name popped up on the list for it, which neither myself or the officer could understand, since he knew as well as me that I've been in isolation the whole time. So we both chuckled and shrugged and did it anyway. Go figure. I wish I could be there when the pups start to open their eyes. That's always one of my favorite times with them, seeing their eyes grow more clear and walking up to the pen and seeing all their little tails start wagging when they see me as they do that little puffy chest prancing march over to greet me. I'm glad Lacey is such a good mom, and I wish I was there to pet her and praise her. I may have the tablet a little while longer, so write back if you like, and I might see it tonight. If not, in the next day or 2. Love you both. Hugs and kisses. So his dad wrote back, and it was indeed that same night. About 20 minutes later, and this is actually his mom, and this is the email I'm telling you about. Whoa, listen to this. 9:11 p.m. You don't see the commissary and cannot order anything? I hope that gets resolved quickly. Do you remember your balance? Jail and prison are not meant to be comfortable. That was kind of putting him in his place a little bit. All of the mental punishment, I guess, she wrote. Stay positive, talk with your attorneys. I keep thinking about how you would not ever rat out a friend. It really made me mad, and I felt like you valued them over us when you let them get away with stuff. Don't be doing that again. Now here's where the redactions come in. We all know blank was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she is free and you are not, when this is not all your fault. Like, whoa, first of all, what does his mom know? Does his mom know stuff, like based on, the friend interviews when allegedly his mom gave up some cash to someone, almost as if supposedly his mom was covering Stephan's butt. She knew something allegedly about wrong relationships or CP, or I can't even remember. But what does his mom know here? And it's a very short redaction, so I don't know if she's saying Jen or is she saying JS? Who is she saying? We all know blank was heavily involved in this, and I am disgusted that she is free and you are not, when this is not all your fault. First of all, the mom is saying, Stephan's mom is saying, yeah, it's partly your fault, but also this other woman's fault too. And what does she know? If she knew anything about what Stephan was doing to Maddie, or what she's alleging Stephan and some other woman perhaps were doing to Maddie, allowing to be done to Maddie, why didn't she tell someone? Anyway, she said, you need to think about yourself more and her less. She sure isn't thinking of you and how she can help you right now. That whole family is willing to stay quiet and let you take the fall for everything. I think she's blaming the entire Soto family as if they all knew. What did they all know? When you do that, you are hurting us too. Please get out of your head over this and start talking with your attorneys. This stuff is serious and you need to approach it as life and death, which it is. I think of the craziness blank lived through with various partners. So I don't know what they're talking about there, what she's talking about there. I think of the craziness blank lived through with blank various partners. I don't know. Not a stable life at all for a child. So maybe she's talking about Jen with various partners. I don't know. I do pray for blank and for you daily. I am thrilled that you are working out again and have a physical outlet for the stress. I hope you get your coffee and candy straightened out quickly. So far, I haven't seen a cancellation on Congo. Let us know as stuff filters down to you through the system. This origami book is just paperback. No paper, just patterns, if I read it right. Well, I'm off to feed the curly ones now, the poodles. Love, hugs, and prayers now, and every day and night, Mom. Whoa. So I don't think he really addressed her, come on, Stephan, flip on this woman. So Stephan wrote her back that same day, June 25th at 9:32 p.m. He just wrote, yep, it's a blank screen when I pull up the commissary link. I think, if I recall, I asked around the 19th. He's hinting to them, look, I already asked you guys for money. I think if I recall, I asked around the 19th for you to drop $30 in, but haven't been able to order, so minus $2 per day since then, maybe $18 left at this point. So I guess they did give him the money, he's just calculating how much he has left. So maybe drop more in so I will have funds whenever I do get this sorted, and I'll keep you updated on that. So instead of talking about Jen, he starts talking about books. I will let you know as the books come in. So far I have The Hobbit, Eaters of the Dead, Sphere, Dragon Teeth, Timeline, and the Sudoku book. I have finished The Hobbit today. How I enjoy that book, oh gosh. And that means I've read all the books you have sent me, LOL. I am, after all, a voracious reader, and many of the Crichton books were read straight through in a day and night. They are always such page turners. I can't help it. The battery light is starting to flash on the tablet now, so this may be my last message tonight. It really runs out fast under use, and I've been keeping it logged out with the screen off in between messages. Ugh. In other news, I at least got a standard issue spoon and cup today, so that's one problem solved for the time being. Anyway, I love you both, and we'll try to get the tablet again in the next day or two. So right back, hugs and kisses and well wishes to you both, and give love to the fur babies too. Good night, XOXOXO, hugs and kisses. Maybe it wasn't even running out. Maybe the tablet really had battery life left. Stephan just maybe didn't want to answer his mom in terms of that talk about, he's not the only one responsible. It's not just his fault, but sounds like she knows something, I'm assuming about Jen. From his dad back to Stephan, or really this might really be his mom, that same night. Okay, I'll add some money, $, and replenish funds. By coincidence, I came across your list of books, so we'll jump on Amazon and order you more books. Let us know what other books to order as we'll cycle through this list soon. Are there any other mind games like crossword puzzles you'd like? Have you seen the attorneys regarding the POA yet? So there's some kind of power of attorney. Now he gets an email from the Osceola County Election Office, just more voting stuff, I guess. And something about a sealing and expungement workshop, so stuff for inmates to do, maybe to get their records expunged. Other events this weekend. Father's Appreciation Event, isn't that ironic? And now we have, on June 29th, from Stephan to his dad, I have not seen the attorneys regarding POA yet, the power of attorney. I was finally able to use the commissary kiosk yesterday, and it said there was $28 in the account, which means by Monday, there will be $22. So I had to keep my order under that. But I ordered 25 coffees for delivery on Tuesday, which cost $21.25. Couldn't get any more hard candy or crackers for budget, but I prioritized coffee and ran out yesterday. So I want to make sure I could get enough to last about 2 weeks if I limit myself to 2 a day. Sometimes I do have more though. I received the Easy Origami book yesterday and have already learned a few patterns and wouldn't mind being sent an intermediate one soon. I'm glad you came across the book list, and yes, there are more titles I can add to it. As we cycle through the list, I will message you guys to add more. I'm still awaiting delivery of Congo, but as for what to send next, I'm thinking along the lines of Jurassic Park, The Lost World, and perhaps the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which can be found in a complete single-volume paperback. Or alternatively, Ready Player One. I keep hearing it that way in my head. If you don't want to send the trilogy just yet. As far as other mind games go, not much yet, though I still need a book for single-player card game and whatnot. I will have the tablet for a little while and will try to turn it off to conserve battery and check these messages again in a little while. So right back, love and hugs. So his dad wrote back, June 29th, 2:06 p.m. Okay, I'll put more funds in it. Their system says their network is down, so I'll keep trying. We'll order what we can. I think Congo is still out for delivery. If I recall, there was a delay in shipping. Mom's referring to the list, and we'll send out what we can. Puppies are over a pound now and all have fat bellies. They becoming more active and vocal. It won't be long before their eyes and ears will be open and the fun times begin. Joy, quiet and calm will slowly dissipate. I switched companies this week as I'm working on something large. Won't go into details due to privacy, but all is good. July 10th, I am told, is a pre-trial meeting to determine if your trial is pushed off to a later date. I'll let you know if I hear anything. So yeah, as I'm recording this now, it's July 11th. We know yesterday in court his hearing was pushed, so his next hearing is expected to be October 14th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Eastern Time in Florida, but that's still just a pre-trial hearing. We don't know when his murder trial will be. Maybe 2025, who knows? So Stephan wrote back his dad on June 29th at 2:20 p.m. and we are almost done with these emails. Okay, yes, thank you, and keep trying to add funds. If I'm lucky, I might be able to use the kiosk again tomorrow and perhaps add a few more items like to candy and crackers. Yes, it sounds like the noisy times are upon you. I'm a bit jealous though. I miss puppy time. What books are on the list that you have from me? So I know what to add from my own list that I'm compiling. I hope your big project works out. Yes, I heard July 10th as well, and that is likely to be pushed off and dragged out for a while. Give Mom my love and write back. I will turn off the tablet and check in again in a bit. Much love. So that same day, his dad wrote back, June 29th at 2:28 p.m. Here is what is being sent. Jurassic Park Lost World, Ready Player One. Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the origami book you wanted. Remaining on the list is Ultimate Hitchhiker, Dinotropia Lost, Moby Dick, 20,000, which is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Jaws, It, Call of the Wild, Eruption, Dune Saga, Cycle of the Werewolf, Eyes of the Dragon, Christine, Lost World of Jurassic Park 2, Pirates, Latitudes, Andromeda Strain, that's a good one, old one, Next, and Prey. Mom sends hugs. We're both responding the same message, love and hugs. So Stephan wrote his parents back that same day, June 29th, 3:22 p.m. Remove It and Christine and Call of the Wild from the list. I will send you my own list so you can compare and add as needed, minus what has already been received or is in transit like Congo. Please make sure it is just books and not box sets. I have a feeling even the box for the box sets would be an issue. The list is as follows. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Ready Player One, Dinotopia Lost, the Lord of the Rings trilogy books, The Silmarillion, Jurassic Park, The Lost World, The Andromeda Strain, Pirate Latitudes Micro, Jaws, Moby Dick, Treasure Island, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Journey to the Center of the Earth, Dracula, Frankenstein, The Howling, I remember that. A lot of these I remember the movies. The Howling Trilogy book, Cycle of the Werewolf, Dune, Murder on the Orient Express. I loved Agatha Christie books, so did my dad. The Icewind Dale Trilogy book, the Dark Elf Trilogy book. That's all for now. The battery's getting low again. Ugh, love you both very much, and we'll check in later or the next couple of days. Hugs and kisses. So now there's more about the sealing and expunging clinics, and that's it for Stephan Sterns' messages back and forth between his parents. Whew. Thank you, Lord, for getting me through that. Osceola County Jail, and we just see the packages. Again, whatever images I can't fit into this video, whatever I can't make it through iMovie, I'm trying to keep this around an hour. It helps with editing because I only have so much space on this MacBook. So they just show The Hobbit, J.R.R. Tolkien, and all about that, or Japanese origami for beginners. They just show the actual prime packages, easy origami. Michael Crichton, I guess, wrote Eaters of the Dead. So I'm just scrolling through, and then there's several dark pages, like pages 39, 40, 41, 40. I don't know what's on these. And then the other documents are actually the types of documents we have seen on the Osceola County website. So I guess maybe they have to print it out for Stephan, since maybe he can't go online to see it, but it's just his charges and when his jury trial was set for July 16th, but we know it's not set for that anymore. Just all the list of the documentation and his charges. So that takes up pages 49 through 50 and 52. We start seeing more packages, origami, Michael Crichton books, Ready Player One from Amazon, The Order. We see everything his parents were so kind enough to order him. Cards for Travelers games, I guess those that are in his property that he cannot have. Sudoku puzzles, Michael Crichton, and that's it. Whew, we made it through. So again, see below if you want to just read it. I don't know if I'll put any of it, whatever in this video. Philippians 4:6. This was our prison ministry was this morning. It was something else, raucous and good. But like we told the ladies there, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. No, this was not today. This was not today's verse, but it's still a good verse. Philippians 4:6. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God. And I always like the rest of that. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, will keep your hearts and minds in Christ. Whoa, what did you guys think of that email, especially the one where his mom's like going in and it's like basically throw her under the bus. You weren't the only one. It's not all your fault. And it just leads me to believe, what does Stephan Sterns' mom know about what was happening in that apartment? Like, did Stephan just tell her after he was arrested, oh, I did this, but Jen did this too? And is he lying just to try and throw Jen under the bus, just to try and make himself look better? Or did his mom know about stuff going on way before he was arrested? And now she's like, that whole family is just gonna let you basically fry. She didn't say that, I'm paraphrasing. But oh my goodness, this is crazy. So stay tuned for more. This must be the $225 I paid for. We'll see how much each iteration is and how much they will be approved to release at a time. I mean, if we have to wait and wait and wait for Stephan to appear, I'm glad at least they're giving us chunks of information so we get more of a well-rounded view of this case. But what does that mean? First of all, I can't assume it's Jen. I'm only assuming it's her because of the context, because it is redacted. So if it really is that widely known, what are cops waiting for? Are they going to arrest her? Is Stephan going to use a play, if he has anything to play, to take the death penalty off the table to try and throw Jen under the bus? And I don't know if it's even worth it, if it will work, but whoa, what do you guys think of that? Check the links below. I'm just amazed. I'm just like, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. We'll see what we get in the next iteration of this case. Whatever we get, whoever is responsible for harming Maddie, for allowing her to suffer since the age of 8, maybe even beyond, because it sounds like Stephan's mom, if she's talking about Jen the whole time, I don't know if she's talking about an ex-girlfriend of Stephan's. Also, she's making it sound like, you know, that child went through a lot. Like, I don't know if she means just Maddie, but it just makes it sound like she knew a lot about how Maddie was being raised, and she knew a lot about it not being a safe and healthy household. And again, the question is, why wasn't someone else told? Why wasn't Maddie protected? Who knew what and when and how much? How much are lies being told or what is truth? Maybe we will see another arrest in this case. Stay tuned. Take care and thank you for watching.